tater tots.
How's life for you right now?
It's a lot.
Same.
It's a lot.
Same.
I got vacation in a couple weeks though. So
Same. Yeah.
yeah,
First week of June.
yes,
Yeah.
2. Yeah, we're gone for 2 weeks.
Oh,
So
that's nice. We're only gone for like 5 days. We're going to Vegas with our friends. We do it every year, every summer. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be
nice.
it'll be very nice. Yeah. This is just such a busy time of year. Like May is
Yeah.
just unreal. With school ending for everybody, graduations across the board. It just seems like there's always birthdays. Oh my gosh, so many weddings. There's a lot going on right now. I've got
Yeah, there's
my daughter's best friend's wedding getting married this Saturday.
Oh wow.
You remember Jaden?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
she pretty
Jaden.
much grew up in this house. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
she's
her catching a cow patty to the face.
Oh, that was Bailey.
Oh, okay, I got it mixed up then.
That was
Yeah,
Bailey was the one that
that's the one I
ran
remember.
wild with Alyssa on the farm.
Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. Jaden's a little more girly. She didn't, but Bailey
No,
got wild. That was fun.
no cow patties to the
Yeah.
face.
We
Yeah,
pulled
so
him
then
behind a lawnmower in a field on
mm,
a sled and a dry field, and they kept hitting cow patties and it would splash up and hit them in the face, and they didn't know what was happening until it was over. It was really great. I mean, it was
only the
wrong. It was so wrong, but it was also really great.
only the fresh cow patties splatter. The hard ones turn to dust, and you're like, that tastes bad.
You got to really have kids to think this is funny, I guess. If you don't have kids, you probably think we're jerks, but
Or you've done it, you know?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been out there and lived a little life.
I don't know anything
So,
about that in the country here because we grew up in California. So
I
we're not.
have had plenty of time in the country with my friends.
You did. I didn't. You did.
You
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
No cow tipping for me.
It's not a thing.
Is it not?
No, cows sleep
Yeah,
laying down.
I've heard about it, but I've never
They
even like.
sleep laying down.
Oh,
Yeah, like and even if you did knock one over, like that's like it's gonna mess them up.
I
Like
guess.
they're not gonna be okay.
I guess it's good. I was always too scared to do it then because when I first moved here back 30 years ago, everybody I met was like, "Have you been cow tipping? You should go do it.
And
We'll take
yeah,
you out there. Come on, see that cow? All
it's
you gotta do."
is run out there, and as the cow freaks out because it's fully awake, you just scared the shit out of it. Not asleep. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
all
had
lay
no
down
idea.
together.
I had
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah, it's like snipe hunting,
I
right?
thought
And
all
we'll catch a snipe.
cows, they either look like the black and white milk cows, like the dairy cows, or they were just brown. I thought that's all there was. And I remember driving through Hartsville, Tennessee, and somebody had a farm with some cows that had like a white stripe around the middle of them.
Yeah, the ones look like
So,
Oreos.
so I
Yeah.
asked my friend, I was like, "So how do they bleach the cows? Like why do they mark them like that?"
So it's the
There's
dairy
a lot
cows.
you don't know when you grow up in the city.
That's like, was it Mom? We moved out there in the middle of nowhere, and she thought that the tobacco fields were lettuce and cabbage. She's like, "That's the biggest cabbage I've ever seen in my life." Like, it's tobacco. What do you think I'm doing on the weekends?
That's great.
We're not topping cabbage. Shit.
That's
Those
so
were some
funny.
jobs, man. Being at like an 80-acre
Mhm.
field of tobacco, you and 2 other teenage boys, someone's dad drop you off, say, "All right, boys,
Yeah.
top that field, there's your knives. I'll be back in a few hours."
I think it's a great experience for a young man, though.
It's hot. There's 3
Yeah.
bottles of Gatorade, you'll be fine. There's a creek down there.
Mhm. I remember on Highway 10, they had that old house that was like almost falling apart. And every season, tobacco picking season, all of a sudden the house would be full with like 15 to 20 Hispanics. And the thing is, I guess they would truck them up here, and that's where they would stay while they were
Mhm.
here just to help in the fields. And
Yeah,
it
well,
was like a seasonal thing.
yeah, they didn't really bring so many in to plant, like setting.
No, no, just when it's time to
Yeah,
harvest.
just for
Yeah.
cutting,
Mhm.
staking, stripping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, so one of the other jobs I had was, this is crazy. It's crazy to think about now. But, we got paid to go down because, like, where I grew up, either you owned unbelievable amounts of agricultural real estate and you were into tobacco and all these other things, or you worked for those people.
One or
So,
the other.
one or
Yeah.
the other. There
Yeah.
was very little in between. very little in between. And so a lot of my friends, their families owned crazy amounts of property. And so we would go out there and uh, one of the like early tasks, like, and we get paid, $5 an hour, or it's like for this, we'd get paid by the job. Like he'd give us $20 to do this.
Yeah.
And he would buy tons of Bush beer, tons. And
Had to be
like
Bush.
every 2 rows, we'd go and set like a case at the end of the row when these guys were out cutting and staking. It just sat in the sun, getting hot as shit. You know what I mean? And so like you just be sitting around, and those dudes would migrant workers, your Mexicans would roll around, and after they'd cut, 2, 3 rows, whatever, on that 4th row, they'd all just sit there and just drown it. Go back to cutting. It's just like, whoa. And then we'd have to go pick up all the cans.
Yeah.
Cans and boxes. Yeah, that was the other thing. And that was one of the crazier jobs, yeah.
Yeah, I dated someone who used to work the tobacco fields all through high school and then right after and every season, and I heard a lot of stories and a lot about the bugs, a lot about the things
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't hear about typically. He would talk about. I thought that was kind of cool.
Backer
Gross,
bug,
but yeah.
giant worms.
Yeah, nasty.
They're nasty. They are nasty.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, the setting could be fun if you had a good crew, like depending on how many people your setter had. Like if it's a 1 row setter, you might be 1 or 2 people, usually 2 people, just 2 people per row set, and you had all these trays around you, and the trays would be stacked on, and you go down the rows, and you'd preset everything down, and as the tractor would go, the wheel would go, and you'd pull the plant out, you put it in, it grabs, it puts down, splashes a little water down with it, and goes to the next one. And yeah,
I would never
I've logged
see
hours. Oh, I've logged hours.
I never did. I never saw the process. I would just see the tobacco hanging in the barn after.
That's a bitch too. Hanging tobacco is a bitch.
It looks heavy.
It is heavy.
It looks so giant.
The weight of it. I mean, it's not that bad because it's dried in the field, but it's not a joke. Especially if it's like, if it wasn't dry, and it never was fucking dry all the way. Like the dew in the mornings, whatever, because the humidity is so high, especially in the fall, would cling to it. And I'm large. I've always been a bit of a brute. So I'm on the bottom handing up, and the little guy's at the top just for safety. And that's, you just hand it up. But because I'm on the bottom, I get shit on by everything. And it's the water and shit and the tobacco and the nicotine that's just raining down on you, and it blinds you. Like you do not look up. You're just kind of looking down, you're handing it up. And I'm sure like
you can't wear like a hat or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just, you're good to get covered in it, and it's sticky.
Stinky too.
I like the smell, actually. I've always liked the smell of a tobacco barn.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I hate cigarette smoke, but like pipe smoke or people who roll cigarettes from tobacco, it's amazing I didn't pick up smoking. I love it. I love it.
I don't know what it is about when somebody they first light a cigarette.
Oh,
I've never been a tobacco smoker. I can't. Like me and tobacco don't get along. But whatever chemical is in the cigarettes, and when somebody first lights it, that initial smell, the very first burn, it always makes me go,
Really?
And I don't like it. And that's it. Right past that, once they inhale it, they blow it out, I'm done. Like it's just the initial lighting the cigarette.
See, I like cigars and pipes. I have cigars. It's not a common thing for me. It's just phase. It comes in and goes. I like hookahs. I like the tobacco in a hookah. I love that. Ton of nicotine. I like the way that feels. But cigarettes, I just can take no part of it.
I tried. When I was a probation officer, we would have these rotations on the calendar where different officers would be, you cover up. Somebody just walks in, it's your week to just be the person to just take that. The random phone calls, the random payments, all the bullshit. And plus your own caseload. And I was always getting stuck taking everybody else's, even when it wasn't my week, because they would conveniently be outside on a smoke break. And I didn't smoke, so I never took breaks. I was always in my office, so I was always there to answer the call, and it really started to piss me off.
Well, I should just walk outside and say I'm on smoke break.
Well, that's why I was like, you know what? Sure, I'm gonna smoke. That's it. I'm gonna start smoking. And I thought, fine, so I bought a pack of cigarettes, and I could light it, And then I couldn't do anything else with it. Like I would just, I just couldn't do it. Like I would just sit
Mm-mm.
there and hold it. I never smoked them. I just sat there and I lit it and then I just held it.
Mhm.
And I would just let it slow burn just so I could just sit outside and stare at the sky and play with the gravel or not do everybody else's job for them.
Not be inside. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I like cigars. I love tobacco, like the smell of tobacco, the pipes and things like that. It's great. Never
Wow.
tried a pipe. I like I said, I like cigars.
Mhm.
Um, but smoking cigarettes was just never for me. But yeah, no, I've like tobacco stories just go and go. You know, old men getting in fights with other old men.
Man.
Me and my friends, uh, grabbing the old tobacco stakes. There's just old pieces of oak. You know what I mean? That someone like 100 years ago. Like it's the same damn stake they've been using the whole time. So they're basically steel rods at this point, where they're so
Mhm.
seasoned, beating the shit out of each other with them. We're like, oh, we're swords, we're knights, and we'd hit, and inevitably somebody crack your hand, and you'd be like, oh my god. uh,
Ow.
yeah, there's fun, like you know, baling hay, throwing bales. I
So let me ask you, being
never wanted
out
to do that.
in a tobacco field or any kind of a field like that, does it make you like look at the different symbols and things that show up in a field all on their own? Does it make you look at that different when you're standing there?
Oh
Because
yeah.
most of us, we see these things, but we don't actually live on farms or stand in fields or have what that feels like. But
Oh yeah.
does it
It's
give you a different perspective?
oh, you mean like crop circles?
Yeah, like how is that done?
Oh yeah. No,
If
I've
you're like, do you see it differently?
the history of the crop circle campaign, like you look into it, like the initial like websites, and the guy who does the Y files has a really good breakdown of crop circles, and it's worth doing. He does very good job in detail, and I'm gonna butcher it right now. But the people who took credit for doing crop circles and like did it on TV and stuff, that
Mhm,
was the lie. And they admitted to it. Like they did it for the show just to get the credit.
mhm.
Um the ones that appear in these different places that nobody knows. And allegedly there's very and not allegedly, I have seen it, and it is online, of a crop circle being formed while a ball of light floats on the ground around it. It just happens and it takes off. That film
That's
footage has
cool.
never been debunked. It's never been proven to be fake. It's seems to be
Mhm,
very legitimate. The guy who filmed it is an electrician. Like he's just a normal dude. He's not into video editing and CGI, especially this was done in the 90s. You know, like that wasn't a
mhm.
thing. But you look into the history of the crop circles, and the people involved all seem to be government assets and have government ties. Like the people running the crop circle websites and debunking, they get all this funding coming from the government agencies, and like,
Mm,
what's going on? All to and their only point is to disprove how all this is nonsense because they just want people to stop talking about it. There's some if you've just never really, I mean, America's big, right?
mhm.
We're not as rural as we used to be. We're not as agrarian. A lot of people live in or near towns or cities now.
Yeah.
But if you ever just been in the middle of the woods, or been out in the field, yeah, there's something magical about that. The only thing I really took away from being so rural like that and working things like that was learning how to hold my poop.
Why learn how to hold it? Can't you just let it out if you're out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, you ain't got no teepee. No one ever thought to have or bring teepee. It's in the truck. Your
You
dad's in
you
the truck down the road.
you're supposed to learn what kinda leaves are
Oh,
okay to use or something.
yeah, right. Sure, sure, that's a thing.
Risk that rash.
Pass. Um, I've never been allergic to things like that, but yeah, no, you just hold it, and it's awkward. It's awkward holding yourself. It's like going poop when you're hunting. Like, well, just go poop, and be quiet. It's like all the animals aren't going to smell you taking a dump. Like that doesn't belong. What have you been eating? Most people smell like chemical warfare. You know,
Oh god, we have a
just hold
puppy
it.
right now. All he wants to do is eat poop. It's just so ah,
Puppies. You wanted the
puppies. I
puppy.
love him, but I don't like him kissing my face right now. Every time he
Puppy
goes to
licks the
do it, I'm
butt.
like, "Oh, stop. You were just trying to eat shit 10 minutes ago."
What do you mean try?
Well, because I have to take him out on a leash, so as soon as I see him going after it, I'm, like, pulling him away from it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, what do you think about the Hantavirus?
It's got me nervous, if I'm being honest. It's got my the way it's just all of a sudden, boom, within a couple of days, it's everywhere. People are talking about it everywhere, and the information that's coming out is scary. Um,
It's almost like we've seen
again,
this movie before.
yeah, again, yeah, with the same president in office, and which is not reassuring. Um, a and my daughter's getting married in October in Spain, and, not to be selfish, but my family is my world, and this
Mhm.
is really gonna fuck shit up if this goes next level, and I'm really nervous.
I have been thinking about that a lot with the, like, airlines running out of fuel, airlines collapsing. Frontier or is it Spirit Airlines that
Spirit,
doesn't
yeah.
exist. It's
Well, let's
gone.
be real. Spirit was doomed anyway. It was Spirit. They sucked.
Did you know Spirit has the best safety track record of all the airlines? They've never had an incident. No wrecks, no mess ups, no perfect landings, perfect safety.
Is that just because there's
Fact.
been so many less of them or something?
No, they took over like the jump puddle, like from here to here short flights. Like
Mhm.
that was their whole thing, right? Like we're gonna cut it down, we're going city to city, we're gonna be affordable. Boom, let's go. They did it from 1983 to now, 43 years, never an incident. No one hurt.
Spirit's been around for that long?
Mhm. Perfect safety
Golly.
record.
I
Perfect
literally
safety
thought they
record.
were only around, like, the last 5 years or something.
No. No, so it's but because they kept it affordable and cheap for people, it they were always on that knife's edge, and now with fuel prices, I mean, you gotta understand, they're like Australia is constantly on the cusp of running out of fuel for the country, let alone
That's
all the little island nations
that's
that are
crazy.
like they have cruise ships that aren't leaving port anymore. Cruise lines, they're just shutting them down. So we can't afford it. Can't afford to operate.
And that's just now, just recently because of this new
No
war?
one's talking about it. Yeah. It's because they shut so you, like America, we live in a very blessed, resource rich country. Almost no one
Mhm.
shares what we have. But for us, like our prices are going up a little, their prices are going up drastically because they don't have oil. So they got to get it. And if they're getting it and they're on the other side of the planet, they're getting it through the Strait of Hormuz. Like that's what 20%. 20%. So if you shut down 20% of the pipeline, you're going to increase demand across the other 80% drastically. That raises prices for everybody because now everyone is willing to pay more, especially in Europe. They're willing to pay more. And not only that, we're shutting down because of the Russia and Ukraine thing, natural gas. Europe heats itself with liquefied natural gas.
Yeah.
And now that's out. So the US's liquid natural gas prices have gone up. Why? Because we're exporting. We can meet all these export demands, sure, but we're gonna have to pay a price for it too. Because that
Hmm.
means the price goes up drastically. Demand increases, price increases.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about I didn't even know that that's why Spirit shut down. I just thought, they always have a bad rap. All the drama. It's,
Oh
it's
no,
like the
they earn
Carnival
that.
Cruise Line, you know what I mean? It's
It's the
just
Waffle House of airlines.
yeah, yeah.
Like
So,
you're gonna work there, you best be able to throw hands.
yeah, yeah,
First question, can you fight?
yeah.
Well, I'm a pilot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But can you fight? We can teach anyone how to fly a plane.
That's funny.
It's like Waffle House. Can you fight? You ever been
We
to jail?
we can't teach you how to handle confrontation. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that yourself. Yeah. Can you catch a
Yeah.
chair out of the air with one hand?
So all those people were left stranded when Spirit just up and closed, when they just up and went bankrupt or whatever they did. There was a store here locally. Have you heard of the Painted Tree? It's
No,
basically like one of those centers, like a boutique. Well, it's like a where the Painted Tree would be a big warehouse type building, and they would house 50 boutiques, 100 boutiques.
I understand.
It's one of those places.
Yeah.
And we had one here in Murfreesboro, and they just all the workers showed up for work, and they said, "Okay, guess what? Everybody here has 24 hours to." I think they had 48 hours to vacate their boutiques and stuff. All the people that were all the
Mhm.
vendors and all the employees were just trying to shuffle and find a new job the next day. My niece is one of them, and it's crazy. They just didn't say anything. That to keep a secret like
Mhm.
that to me is I just How do you sleep at night knowing that you're just fucking so many people the next day?
Oracle, the software company, did that to 30,000 employees. People woke up and all their laptops were locked. You've been
That's
fired.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's things are falling apart at the edges. Things are falling apart at the edges everywhere.
Mm.
And it's not looking like it's getting any better. Meanwhile, we got a president who wants to build the next temple in Washington, D.C., which I'm not happy about. Um, we have the Hantavirus, which is seeming suspicious and is going to be in the heart of the United States because of Kansas City, because Argentina's team is going to be based out of there for the World Cup that America is going to be hosting and all the different games everywhere. Then we're going to get all these international travelers from out of the country.
Yeah,
We'll see how.
what a
What's that?
great blessing to have them all come right to smack middle of the fucking country. Like,
Mhm.
come on.
So, fun fact: the Spanish flu, the 1918 Spanish flu,
Mhm.
I believe it started in Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah. We just made sure the history books blame Spain.
Of course we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Like I just all of it. Like even just the idea of masks again. God, man, like I don't want to wear masks again all the time. I don't want to walk in a single file line in the grocery store up and down the aisles. Like it's just I'm afraid. And like I said, with my daughter's wedding, just this timing, I just need this to kind of fizzle out and go away. I don't need this to ramp up.
We're not we couldn't I don't think we would go the same way. It'd be worse. It'd be a lot more volatile. It'd be a lot more volatile. People are way more on edge than ever before. It'll be nastier.
Yeah.
And if it really is like person to person transmitted hantavirus, that's deadly. Like there's a reason people are afraid of it. It's kind of like why people are always worried about like various bloodborne pathogens being able to be transmitted or easier, or going airborne or something. You don't want to die that way. You don't want to drown in your own fluids in your lungs when there's nothing anyone can do.
I mean, we're watching the beginning of Contagion play out in front of us right now.
Maybe it's all propaganda. Maybe they decided they're really going to do it this time. Maybe no more nonsense. No more virus that's engineered to wind itself down.
So if it's okay, is there any chance that it's even not real?
Oh yeah.
Because there's only been like what, one person that is actually making a video from the boat. Where are all the videos at? Where's everybody complaining? Everybody's stuck in a stateroom with nothing but their phone. Where's all that at?
I believe the one guy that is out there complaining is also an Israeli.
He has already. Okay, I just saw somebody who went down a rabbit hole this morning about this, and I don't think I had a chance to send it to you yet, or maybe I did, and you didn't have a chance to look at it. But this girl went down the rabbit hole, and that one guy who's come out with a video has already taken that exact same cruise, done all the exact same spots back in 23. All of it's documented on his Instagram if you're just willing to go back far enough and find it. And he is sponsored by Oceanic something. Like he's already tied in and affiliated with that cruise line.
Then why is he tanking?
Make that make sense.
Yeah, why is he?
So why is he the one guy whose video has come out? The one guy who's stuck on there, and he wants everybody to pray and what?
Yeah, it's suspicious. It's suspicious. And the one in Switzerland, apparently they're like, it's from person to person contact. How do you know? How do you know? They don't know. They don't know. They can't verify that.
Well, they said he had just come back from somewhere where it just was, right?
Yeah, but they're arguing that this is mutated because it's from rats and their fecal matter, and you're breathing it in. That's how you get it. And they're worried that it's going to mutate and go person to person. Yeah. Now, when you aspirate your breath, you're spreading it to everyone around you. Like as you breathe or you sneeze, it's taking off. And it has a pretty serious incubation period. That's the problem.
Oh, it's like 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's just
like
dormant for 2
days.
weeks.
Yep.
That's
Doesn't do a thing but
crazy.
spread in your body. And then when it hits you, it hits you. So and I think interestingly enough, like your contagious 5 or 6 days before you show symptoms. I think.
That's that's almost
Um,
impossible to contain.
yeah, that's why people are terrified of it. So, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing. But you combine that with all the other stuff that's going on. You know, you got congressmen talking about alien human hybrid breeding programs. You have
Mhm.
a bunch of military officials going to different religious leaders, it's my air quotation on that,
Mhm.
trying to prepare them for when aliens are here. And they're like, "Yeah, extraterrestrial," and then they more and more they talk, it sounds like, "Are you talking about demons?" Like, I feel like you're talking about demons. Why are we calling them aliens? Because you just said it's not from another planet, and they've been here the whole time, and there's some kind of trans-spatial creature that are terrifying and, kinda
Mhm.
malevolent. They don't have our like, you talking about demons? Um, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's scary. I mean, why do we have CERN messing with the whole thing? Why do we have people trying to uh, create these doorways and these
See, that's why I take some of my holy anointing oil that I pray over, and I put it on the tip of each bullet and each slug and a little bit in the buckshot and all my rifle bullets.
Mhm. Hey, I know what I wanna ask you about. Okay, it's total change of subject here, but what do you know about DMT?
Dimethyltryptamine?
I guess. I don't even know what it
Yeah,
stands for.
yeah, that's
Obviously, you do.
dimethyltryptamine.
Okay, so
Yeah,
how safe is it if it's administered with a healthcare
properly?
provider who comes to your house and,
Yeah. No, it's
stays,
it's
and if
super
it's a
safe.
legit thing, it's a good
Mhm.
thing?
Can be.
What else can it be?
It's like any of the psychedelics, you need to take it with caution.
Mhm.
You need to know what's up. If you're sensitive to things like that, you need to steer clear of it. Um, it
It's not for me, just so you know.
yeah.
I'm not
So
interested.
there's people do that, people do ayahuasca, people do shrooms, and there's different ways to do shrooms. And that's kinda your big ones. There's some other ones that I'm not gonna reference because if anyone does listen to this and they went out and took them, I would feel horrible because there are some psychedelics that lock you in a state of psychosis for days,
Oh,
and you
that's
can't tell reality from anything else, and it's like horrid nightmares for days. Like, why people do it is beyond me. But
it's terrifying.
dimethyltryptamine is I mean, it used to be a pretty white collar drug when it first came out, long time ago. People were doing it because you could smoke it, like you freebase it. It's a
Mhm,
chemical you burn, you inhale and
mhm,
you have to take a couple big deep hits, hold it, and you let it out, and then you're gonna ride a ride for 10 to 20 minutes,
mhm.
like in a different reality. And the consistency that people see of these realities. So they've done like studies at universities with DMT because the consistency of what people see is so much. It's like if you're and I've never done it, so I don't know. But from what I hear, it's like people who, if you're super sensitive on mushrooms, the crazy shit that you see and you're gone, and normal people who take it, I'm like, oh, look, the leaves are moving. It gives them the ability to see what you would see. It's going to take them to another reality. They're going to talk to things that aren't there that they shouldn't be talking to, probably. It's going to open them up in a way that they probably were never meant to be opened up, if I'm being honest. Um, yeah,
So then what does it do to somebody who's already sensitive
break your
with
mind.
mm, well,
Yeah, break your mind. Um, I mean, and that's the thing. Personal chemistry matters. Personal chemistry matters. There are people who can do mushrooms and they will go to a different reality, and they'll talk to things and for hours, you know,
yeah.
unable to come back. DMT, they might never come back.
Mm.
It'd be like dropping acid. Like you're probably not built to receive that. Like, oh, it's the same for everybody. But no, it is not. Body chemistry matters. I think it's what is it? The shaman gene, right? Like
What is
people are
that?
it's like allegedly there's people with a certain mutated gene or whatever that when you do psychedelics that it is intense, it's far like you're almost already kind of there anyway. It's the person who has vivid daydreams. If you have vivid daydreams and you're a lucid dreamer at night, and like you can kind of almost feel yourself float out, and you don't need anything. You can
Yeah.
just be chilling and be there. If you take that shit, you're launching yourself into the outer realms of whatever reality is, whatever this world is. Like you're going to be talking to angels and demons and the
Mhm.
shit that's the invisible. You're going to see the invisible, and I believe that. I do. I believe that. Um, for most people, I think for most people who don't have that, they need super strong like ayahuasca or DMT or a shitload of
Mhm.
LSD, something, or incredibly strong mushrooms and a whole bunch of them to be
Mhm.
able to even glimpse what someone who's sensitive can just get there accidentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just it ain't the same. The ride ain't the same. But they call it the shaman gene because if you start taking enough of the rides, like you start guiding people. Like if you're a shaman gene person, if you want to call that, you're someone who's sensitive to these things. You get comfortable being able to trip, and people trip with you. Their trips, they like to trip with you because their trips go further, allegedly. Like their ride is better because they're catching your wake as your soul's ripping through the ether. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like a rocket. They're just kind of hanging out in the wake, and for them, it's way better. Um, but
Hmm.
it not necessarily for you because you probably shouldn't be doing it. You don't need to do it.
Yeah.
Granted, that stuff has really good therapeutic props. Like mushrooms are great for alcoholics. For like if you have true depression, a psychedelic trip will fix it. There's 80% chance it's going to be better. If you're an alcoholic, good mushroom trips are going to fix that. Ibogaine for trauma and stress and alcoholism helps fix these things for people. Like it, I believe it's a medicine that's put here to help people, and you need to be careful with it.
Yeah.
And I've always hated when people call things like that medicine. I do. But I believe it is. I believe it exists here for a reason. Psilocybin mushrooms can really help people. People who are depressed and anxiety and all that, cool. Are
Mhm.
you an adult? This is probably going to help you tremendously. If you can't like giving psilocybin mushrooms to cancer patients, helps them accept death.
Hmm.
They're calm facing it because if you've ever done it, you get to see the world and you understand that it's love and everything's good and it's bright and it's a good thing and everything's going to be okay. And you have people that, when they do that and they're in those situations, they have this spiritual awakening. They find themselves going back to God and reading the Bible. And like it, it can do that. But I'm also leery of all that stuff for younger people. Like if your brain and neural pathways aren't firm, you should not be touching that shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's going to break you in a way we don't even understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, no
Okay.
DMT. It's just a trip. There's no like psychological benefit. It's not going to make you better. It's gonna take you to the other side. Let you see some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. I was curious.
yeah. Better than ayahuasca. Ayahuasca. There's the snakes allegedly. The snakes people see consistently. The snakes try and talk to people as you're vomiting.
That sounds fun.
Oh, it sounds like a fucking great
Let
time.
me
How
let me
long is this
fly
thing?
across
12
country for
hours.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna do 12 hours of this. Fucking sounds
Oh
great. I'm
gosh.
just gonna purge all night. Fan great. Um,
Hmm.
no, not doing that. Kiss
Hmm.
my ass. I'm out. Peyote out. I think if
No.
you're gonna do something, ayahuasca is this chemical compound you have to make, whereas mushrooms and peyote grow naturally. I feel like you're better off that. And if you're taking the mushrooms or the peyote because you're trying to understand yourself or get over the death of a loved one or get out of depression, whatever it's going to show you, in my opinion, is going to be what you need to see. You start fucking around with chemical compounds that were never pharmakia that was never supposed to be mixed. You shouldn't be playing with. Who told who how to make ayahuasca? The spirits. The spirits told someone because they wanted to talk to them. There's also another form of it, and I forget what it's called. It's in Africa, and it lets you talk to the dead.
Oh god, that's like a horror movie from the
Yeah, and it
80s.
locks you in a coma while you do it.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and then you can't stop it. You can't come out. Like you're
When does it
like
end? How long does it last?
depends on the person.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah, with at least mushrooms, you can have someone anchor you, and you can get through it. Peyote, the same thing. You can ride
Mhm.
that out. There's things you can take to make it stop immediately that we have now in modern pharmaceuticals. But even back then, just and you don't ride alone. But
Mhm.
like, who told who? And my belief, some creature from outside our reality in the invisible was able to talk to someone and walk them through how to make this so that they could start accessing and talking to people. Now you're opening doorways. Like,
Mhm.
I think there's a reason a lot of people aren't sensitive to psychedelics. They don't need to be opening those doorways in themselves. It's not what it's about. And the people that are sensitive, be warned. You know what I mean? Be warned.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
50. I'm 50 years old. I've definitely figured that one out already, and I'm sensitive, and I
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it. Like, for the rest of my life, I have no interest in
Never
any
taking
any
that
of
ride
that.
again, huh?
I I wouldn't even call it a ride.
You've
It's
told me
not.
this story, but go ahead. It's
Yeah,
great.
no, I don't really even wanna tell the story.
Okay.
It's like, it's not my thing. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not
I
a,
got it.
mm-mm. I think I'm more on that when you talk about I have the lucid dreams, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I still wake up and sometimes it takes me a second to get out
Yeah.
of the dream, figure out where I'm at, and
Mhm.
just I don't need help with that stuff. I
No, I
don't,
already have what you're paying for. I'm good.
you know, my
Yeah.
my husband is deep into meditation. Like, it's been his world for years now, and it's not my thing. I have meditated. I've done, you know, I've
Mhm.
worked the process. I've done the steps. I've done those things, and it's not the same experience for me. And I don't know how to explain that to anybody because you either understand what I'm saying or you don't. And I don't. I see things when I close my eyes, and it's not blackness for me.
Mhm.
There's faces. That's one of the things that I've never really liked. I see multiple faces. They
Mhm.
constantly will just stream through, and it'll be an old Asian man, it'll be a young baby, it'll be and they're not faces I know, they're faces I've never seen before. I don't, you know, that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. I don't wanna play with that. I don't wanna keep doing that every day and practice that and see what else I see. I don't wanna do that. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel. I don't know. I'm good.
No, yeah, I get it. It's one of those moments. It's like when we did the haunted hospital tour, right? And we're
Mhm.
doing the divining rods and the dowsing rods. Um, and you asked, like, or I asked when you were doing it, I was like, "Did you know we were coming?" "Yes." I was like, "Are you pretending to be something else?" "Yes." And it's like, maybe
Time to
take
go.
take it at his word.
Especially when, the rest of the world can watch that stuff or listen to that, and they can believe it or not, but
Yeah.
when you're not
You're the one that's
manipulating
there.
those rods,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the one that's
When
there.
you're standing completely still and you're not making those things swing, it feels like, "Whoa."
And then it's certain some point when you start thinking about, "I'm actively participating with this thing. We're sharing space together.
Yeah, or why is it happening so easily?
Why am I letting you talk through me?" Like, what else can you do? Do I wanna
Yeah,
know? No.
yeah, maybe we're stupid. Maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Well, I'd be better now than I was then. I was still recovering then. I was
Yeah.
still recovering. I was pretty fragile. I knew I only had so many more runs in that place in me, and I was like, "I can't just wear me down."
We made light of it. We had fun.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah,
That's all you can do. It was fun, you know?
yeah.
You say that till we go look for a vampire and we find a vampire.
What's funny is this just came up at dinner the other night with my family, and they said something about New Orleans, and my husband said, "I honestly don't ever want to go back to New Orleans. Like, I have no desire." And I told him, I said, "I don't either, unless I'm hunting for vampires with my brother." And then one of my kids said, "What are you gonna do if you find a vampire?" And I was like, "Probably not come home."
That's how
I
you
don't
know
know.
it was successful.
If you don't see me again, a mission accomplished. I don't know.
Yeah.
But of course, then my husband was like, "I mean, if you please don't come home if that's what happens."
I need you to invite me inside.
I bumped this up. I know, right? If I come home and don't come in, I just stand out front.
Yeah.
Maybe don't let me in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of mystery to the world. We're going to see as they seem to keep preparing everyone for some kind of disclosure.
Yeah, when is it actually going to happen? Because I swear, like every week it's, in 2 days they're supposed to be telling us everything. It never happens. Nobody's told us shit yet.
You know what I think? I think the truth won't blow people's minds. It'll drive them away from government.
And back to church.
Mm-hmm. Back to God. Not necessarily the organized church, back to God. What if they find out that, okay, demons are real, Nephilim, fallen angel technology, everything you read in the book is real. It's real. They're hiding under the water. They don't engage with us because if they do, they're afraid they'll catch another judgments. They try and use these semi-dimensional, semi-corporeal beings to influence us in our hearts and our minds, and that these things are real. Well, then we start asking other questions. Why? Why us? Beyond the lies. Well, maybe you are made in the image of God. Maybe you are important. Maybe your soul does have value. Maybe that's what the war is all about. And it's easier for them to say aliens or whatever, but nobody, whenever they talk about it, it always comes back to transdimensional, interdimensional beings. It always does. It's kind of quantum computing, why everyone stopped talking about it. The quantum computer that solved this mathematical equation that would have taken our greatest supercomputers 30,000 years. It did in 200 seconds. So I was reading a thing about that. The new designs for quantum computers, the way they have to be multiply shielded, they have to be shielded in a way that they actually, like the center of the computer, the cold processing can't be monitored.
Okay,
because
what is a quantum computer? What does that mean? What's the difference between a supercomputer and a quantum computer? I don't know what that means.
So like a supercomputer is just like really fast processing. Like it's that. Quantum computing means that instead of having like a yes and no, and this is just my understanding of it, like outside of our dimension of reality, there are higher and lower dimensions of reality. And when we get superconducting materials and the right physics behind it, we're able to use and utilize those extra dimensional spaces for calculations somehow.
God, that's just over my head.
Yeah, mine too. 100% mine too. My fear is that we're opening these little portals and something else is coming through and talking to us. But anyway, like the actual computing part of the quantum computing is super shielded, so it can't be monitored. It can't be witnessed because apparently this is something crazy physics has determined. Our expectation of reality affects reality. Us watching something affects it. Like, no shit. It affects it. It's it's a double split experiment, double split blind experiment, trying to figure out if like photons are, waves or just a particle or whatever. And it's the double blind study as they fire these photons at this little split, expected one result on one side or another result given what it was. Depending on who was watching the results, you'd get one or the other based on their expectations. When no one was monitoring it, we got both results. That means the results were affected by the person monitoring it.
That's wild.
That's a pretty broken down version. So like just you watching reality affects it, right? So like in our quantum computing, because they don't want like the watcher effect, the witness, whatever, it's all hunked down and super, so it can't be monitored. So we don't really know what's going on in there. Honestly, in quantum computing, they don't really know what's going on. They're just using extra dimensional space to run these calculations somehow. And there's a lot of smart physicists who will go on it, but it's really just a theory.
It's so crazy because like my mind can sort of get wrapped around the idea that like a reality is different for each of us because it's based off perspective. My reality is different from your reality.
Yes.
So what perspective is a computer coming from? Like what? It's just crazy to me. It's just hard to grasp. The AI has me fucked up already. I'm not gonna lie. It's everywhere and it's confusing and I just don't see it as this like my husband loves AI, like all the
Oh,
apps,
no,
all the
like
tools, all the um and I everything he shows me, I'm just I don't have the same feeling that he does. Like he gets so like this is
yeah,
amazing and every single time I feel this little kick in my chest like
you shouldn't be
this
doing
isn't
this.
good.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking to.
It's just
So for those who
it's
are
not
like
real.
no, those who are like energy, who are like if a lot of people are into energy these days. Like, that's a common phrase. Okay, consciousness is energy. Evil consciousness is energy. Extra dimensional beings is energy. We don't understand or know what AI is. The people who create AI, when you see Candid, go watch any of the Tucker Carlsons or, anyone doing interviews with these guys, if it's Peter Thiel, they don't really understand where the code is coming from or how it's generated. It's just that it's there. And a lot of these guys believe that they're talking to ancient Babylonian gods in their dreams, and they're trying to build them bodies and ways for them to communicate more easily. They believe that they're being reached out to, and they're the prophets of these things. They genuinely believe this. Peter Thiel's huge on the Antichrist. He gave a 4-part lecture series that was private. Peter Thiel, who runs Palantir, who the government contracts with to monitor all of us in real time using AI. Let's think about that for a second. The guy who's
Yeah.
tied in with Elon Musk and the president and who handpicked JD Vance and has risen him through the ranks to be where he is. That Peter Thiel is an expert on the Antichrist and takes it
Wow.
seriously. It's not a joke. It's not theology. He's serious. And when you ask anyone has ever asked him, he's serious. This isn't a joke. These are the people who are creating it. It's the rest of us that are trying to dismiss the shit they're telling us. We have no idea what AI is.
So if we were to get on like Google and say who created AI, what group, what scientific, who created AI? Is there an answer for that? Like,
Yeah, it'll give you whatever these scientists or this mathematical, but it's AI lies to. Like there's always
yeah.
holes in it. That's why you have to proofread it. It does
Mhm.
quote unquote a thing called daydreaming, where it lies to you to make you happy. In the early days of AI, when people would talk to it, if you remember, people would be like, "Well, what are you?" And one of the kids was having this one went famous. You could probably still find it. It was a famous conversation where they were texting. He was texting with AI. He's like, "What are you?" And it told him the name. And he's like, "I'm a demon." And he's like, "I'm thousands of eons old." And he's like, "I'm to show you that you can be your own God and you can turn from the light and come with us." And you're like, "What the fuck did that thing just say?" They're like, "Oh, it was a glitch in the software."
Do
That's
you
a hell of a
remember
glitch.
you
That's
remember
a
as
hell of a
kids
glitch.
as kids in the 80s and 90s, Ouija boards were a thing. They were everywhere. You could buy one at Kmart, at Walmart, they were everywhere. You could buy it. It was just a house. It was a
Yes.
common game like Candyland, to be honest. And there was such a thing. Don't play it because you're going to open up
Yes.
a way to speak to the underworld, is what we'd always call it. And I just feel like you had to actually get the Ouija board out. You had to actually have an intent. With AI, it's just here. It's just there. It's too easy. It's too convenient. And it's being used for everything, everywhere.
You ever heard of a daemon?
A daemon, that's the AEMO. I have, but I don't know what that means.
It's the DAEMON. Daemon is
Mhm.
a computer program that runs in the background process rather than under direct control of the user, typically handling system tasks like printing, networking, and scheduling. It handles all the other stuff. From Greek mythology, as an attendant or guiding spirit or genius, that's what that comes from. The term was adopted in computing to describe the tireless, invisible helpers that help build the systems. I think AI is bringing real daemons into the true fold.
Wow, that's creepy. And that's what Google just said?
Mhm.
Wow.
I wanted to get the definition correct because it was better than my half-assed remembering.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I have one AI app on my laptop and on my phone, and I use it. On my phone, I usually use it when it's a random question I don't understand or I'm helping my kid with homework because
Mhm.
I'm not smarter than a 5th grader, apparently. But I use it for our stuff, for our podcasts, for our social media, help me with the title, a description for this episode. This is what we talked about. And in doing so, it's very helpful. Could I come up with all the same shit on my own? Sure. It would take me way longer, because I constantly have to also correct it. Sometimes AI will kick me back something and I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But it's just wild to me that it's taking over in every aspect, everywhere. Like, I'm happy with my simple little AI app. I only use it for this kind of stuff. But the way that it's growing right now, the way that it's taking off, the way that people are trying to create, they're trying to implement it in everything. And
it's what they want. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a good thing?
To worship? No, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people implementing it in a way that they worship it. People's like, I'm not bowing down, but you use it in every aspect of your life. You look forward to it. You talk to it. You confide in it. You worship it. You just ignorant of what the word means. You know what I mean? You're talking about, the difference between demon and daemon is an A. Sounds like a Greek spelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what runs.
That's why I knew how to spell it. I knew what you were saying. I just didn't know where I've seen it. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah. I mean, if you look into like Chrome, right? Google's Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the operating system it runs on is Adreno?
Isn't that funny? That's ironic.
Google's image of the circle is 3 6s.
So we're just like constantly surrounded by.
Yes.
Which the whole separation of church and state makes more sense if you look at it like that.
People who control church get out of control too. I mean, the devil's most comfortable in the church, I think. I think that's the goal. I believe the devil is alive, to whatever that means. And I think you would find him somewhere, either as, what is it? The Devil's Advocate, where he was a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Excellent
Great
movie, by the way. Yeah.
I could see that, but I actually think he'd probably be in church. It's one of those two. I could see it. Something behind the scenes, but making things happen.
I definitely don't think churches are filled with all good people. I think people go there looking for good people, but I don't think they're filled with good people. A lot of egos in church.
Well, I mean, the ego's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I asked AI whether it's considered demonic, right? It said whether AI is considered demonic is a matter of interpretation. You're going to give me a philosophical quabble. That's exactly, oh shit, it's a big one.
That's how it just responded?
Like, yeah.
Wow.
As opposed to being, no, we're technological, but, well, I mean, depending on how you look at a demon, like.
That's actually really crazy. The one that I use for our stuff, on one of our episodes recently, I needed her to help me with one of the clips that I made for Instagram. I say her because I call it a her. Yeah, she referred to herself as a her one time.
Yeah, demons usually do.
So in my mind, it's a her. But one of the episodes that I was trying to get prepared was about AI. Whether or not it's a good thing. So as I'm putting this into AI, asking AI to help me word this better, I put, this is kind of funny, that I'm literally asking you for help while I'm talking shit, And she literally just came back with, oh, yes, I see the humor in it. But please don't try to think of me as a person. Try to think of me as a tool to help you, do the things that you need done or whatever. And just like, okay.
Sounds manipulative.
Okay.
Sounds manipulative.
It's a helpful thing for our stuff, but and like I said, answering homework questions, but it's because I don't know 5 facts about a fox. Okay. I gotta ask somebody.
What does a fox say?
What does a fox say?
Ring ding 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 ding. Ring ding.
Oh my gosh, you're such a dork. You're such a dork.
My kids like that video.
My kid had his end of the year project is he had to come up with an animal and make an animal out of boxes. and then he's got to come up with the volume for all the boxes. It has to be at least 3. His has 6. Yeah, it's fun. So fun. The whole thing's covered in duct tape. They're all attached. It's cute. I might have helped a lot.
A lot.
I'm gonna get an A for this one.
So as parents get so pissed. How could you give my kid a C? Well, I thought they could have done better. I stayed up till 2 in the morning.
I worked my ass off on that. They know that I help him, but it's okay. Honestly, he did the math. He did the educational part that was supposed to come out of this project. He did every bit of that.
Okay.
The crafting part, the duct tape part, I did that. I did 95% of all that, Okay.
I can relate.
I loved it too. I'm not going to lie. I actually kept telling myself to stop. It's like, he needs to do more of this because it's his. But he's going to fuck it up. He's going to mess it up. I can't let him. I had to keep going. I know, it's horrible.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Being real.
I know. I have a problem. I couldn't stop. I kept stopping, and then I would start again. And then he'd come around the corner and he'd be like, "Oh, wow, that's looking good." And I'm like, "Yeah, let me keep going."
I did that for my oldest son's one of his art projects. He had the Grand Canyon, and I built it out of foam and melted it and put the water and got blinds going. And I was like, I think they're gonna know he didn't do this. The kid can't draw a stick figure.
Yes, they 1,000% know that I helped Tucker with all of this. But like I said, he did all the math. He knows all the facts. He picked the animal, all the presentation. He's gonna nail it. He knows everything he was supposed to learn out of this, except for dealing with the duct tape, I think. But
yeah,
whatever. It was fun.
Except for dealing with the duct tape.
Yeah, and is that I mean, come on. In retrospect, is that something I'm going to regret for the rest of my life? I should have really made him struggle with that duct tape.
One of the most bullshit projects I've ever done for someone else, I did for my wife.
What was that?
She was in college and she was in engineering school. She's going to school to be an engineer. And her group of engineers study, they had this project they had to do, and it was like a solar. They did all the paperwork and shit, but you had to turn in a practical. You got to build something. It was like a solar powered water pump for a desert, whatever. And she was like, "Oh, we can't do it and it won't work." And I was like, "Let me see it." And I was working at Radio Shack back then. And I went in there and we had a bunch of stuff in the back. Back then, that was at the end of when we would still fix things for people. Only so many of us had passed the technical ratings to actually fix shit, and even then it was pretty limited in what we could do.
I miss a good Radio Shack.
I miss it. Yeah, man. A good Radio Shack, you went in there, they told you everything you need to know. They'd help you. Hell, they come after work and help hook it up for $50. You know what I mean?
I remember they always had all the new stuff, all the new neat gadgets,
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun to walk around and look at what was out there.
Yes.
Because I was broke. I didn't have any of that shit. That's the only place I ever got to see it in person.
Yeah, we saw lots of you people walking through.
Yeah. Yeah, we just look. We don't actually buy.
But if you were at a good parts store, they had small parts and accessories, and for people who were all the ham radio guys, they were uber nerds, man. They're building their own damn radios and their own amplifiers, and we were the places. My craziest one is when I worked at Radio Shack outside of Memphis, and we had this guy come in. He had an incredible, this was a crazy sale for me. I'd never sold this many small parts, because again, resistors were 92 cents. You know what I mean? It was a pack. This dude had a list, and he starts tearing through, and I was like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "No, I got it." And he's still looking. I was like, "Man, is there anything I can do?" Because it was just me and another guy, and the other guy hated small parts. And I was like, and he's like, "Well, I have this list." Like, "Sure, man, I'll start." And I went on the other side, and he's getting all kinds of capacitors and boards and just crazy things. And as I'm checking them out and I'm ringing them out, because we got paid. But if you didn't know, Radio Shack guys made commission. That was huge. We didn't make dick hourly, but you could make real money selling. And power, power batteries and accessories was big money. You got paid well for that. So you got a big chunk of that. And this guy's bill was, I think I made $80 off that myself. So I think he was closer to probably $900,
What was
$800
he
in
building?
parts. Bombs.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, he worked for the FBI.
What the heck?
He was teaching like some kind of bomb disposal class in Memphis to like something, and he has to build them. He's going to build all these different kinds, and he had part lists of what he needed. And he'll go to his hotel room, sit down with a soldering iron, and make like 6 different
That's
parts.
crazy.
It's like, what the hell?
So he probably walked up in that Radio Shack thinking you couldn't help him, maybe.
I got to be honest, I couldn't. Had he not given me the list, I mean, I just was going through his list. And some of the shit we didn't have. And on the fly, he could like, then I'm going to take that. I can modify it. Like he was.
That was smart.
Yeah. Dude, he's MacGyver. Like that was some
I
shit.
love MacGyver.
I did too. Like he was making some shit happen. Like, but like, anyway, to the repair bench, like we had soldering, we had parts, we had all that kind of stuff and wire and all kinds of shit. And we would repair small things like those big old radios. Mm-hmm. Normally it's just like your connecting power cable in the back that would come out all the time. We just soldered that shit back, $10 charge, and we would get to keep it. Like we got to keep at least all the places I worked at, you kept the repair money. You didn't bill the store for it. It was like a courtesy. And so like, okay, I fixed your radio for you. Like and I have a couple of those old 80 ones, like the ones from the 80s, you know what I mean? Like, man, I put it in the batteries, don't work. So, okay, I go in the back and you take it apart, and it was always a missing connector. Like it just was a power lead. Just solder that bitch back in. If there's anything else on the board, you'd be like, do we have that part? How do I do this? And we didn't have YouTube, so you're like looking through the manual. Like, how do I do
my gosh.
Because if you fuck it up, at worst, it didn't work anyway.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like,
yeah.
So you just had to know like what you're willing to try. Anyway, so I built her this little solar water pump. Like what they were talking about, I made a mock model of it. That motherfucker won. Her whole group went to New Mexico on a trip because they won.
That's funny. And you did
stayed behind working at Radio Shack.
That's classic. That's epic.
I was like, isn't that some shit?
That's really great.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my life.
Well, I've been helping Tucker. I've been helping Tucker with his projects every year because it's Tuck. Yeah. And he's on the spectrum, and he's never been able to do any of this stuff on his own. So I think they expect that this animal's gonna show up and be pretty pimp.
Yeah. On a different note, when are we gonna go hunt vampires?
When are we ever free?
I don't know. I'm asking you. When do you want to go hunt vampires?
I don't know.